Right, welcome to Work the Left Side. This is the Sheamus Spotlight episode. I'm joined by two older, familiar faces from before the hiatus. We have James and Mick, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. Good to be back here.
This first video since we've returned. So thank you so much. It's a bit of a weird one because it's obviously the Sheamus Spotlight episode, and he seems to be a guy that you kind of appreciate, or you kind of don't think much of. I'm off the first. I think the guy's awesome. I think he's very underrated. So, you two Sheamus fans, do you appreciate the work ethic, the reliability, or is it just more of a take them or leave them kind of vibe?
I appreciate him more now than what I used to, which is why I kind of went back and watched the older matches to see maybe why that was. Over the last 2 years, I think he's been just an absolute dependable hand for them all the time. They want to make someone look good. They put them in the ring with Sheamus.
That's it.
I'll argue before that when they're doing the bar with Cesaro.
Yes,
they're putting on great matches.
Yeah, I kind of put that more Cesaro than Sheamus, though. I think unjustifiably, I kind of gave Cesaro the credit more than Sheamus for that, I think. But in hindsight, there's definitely, I think it was a 50-50 split between the both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they both brought something to it. I think Cesaro more for the in-ring and Sheamus more for, like, sort of the personality of the team.
And I'll kick your head in.
Yeah, basically.
Just that explosiveness. I went back and watched, like, just everybody talks about like rookie years, like your Brock Lesnar's and guys that had an amazing first year in the company. People tend to forget like Sheamus won the belt within the first year of actually being on the main roster. I think he did it within like 3 or 4 months.
I was going to say, I think it was within the first 6 months.
So, it was like December time, wasn't it? I think he got it October, November, or December.
December. I think you faced Cena TLC.
Yeah, because basically he just started off as some just random person who turned up on ECW TV one night, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd been in obviously development, and they put him on ECW, gave him a couple of matches on SmackDown, I think it was, or whichever brand it was at the time. And next thing you know, he's challenging Cena at TLC. And there's speculation because obviously Cena kind of slipped and put himself through a table. So people.
I think Cena was posed through the table. I think Cena was always supposed to go through the table, but I
it
think
was.
I think Sheamus was supposed to go through the table as well, but he missed it.
Yeah, but no, Sheamus was always meant to win the match. It was just kind of because that happened. Obviously, you got your dirt sheets and stuff kind of questioning was Sheamus meant to win, but yeah, they are kind of saying that they wanted to put the belt on him ASAP. And then obviously kind of led. I have to kind of put it down to being good mates with Triple H as well.
Because in his first year, didn't he have his first year have a match with Triple H at Mania as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost the belt to Trips at Mania, I think, if I remember. He held it from TLC.
I think he lost it back to Cena at Elimination Chamber.
Triple H cost him the Elimination Chamber.
Triple H eliminated him.
And that's why they had a fatal 4-way, didn't he, afterwards? After Mania, they had a fatal 4-way, and he beat Cena to get the title back. So he held it twice within the first 12 months. So, but I got some useless points of information from the internet earlier, so I'll drop in and mention those. Right, I know you two have watched videos of matches. Do we want to pick them out, or do you just want to bask in the glory of Clash of the Champions and talk about that match first of all?
I don't know. Should we do that now or keep it till the end? Because let's face it, it probably is his finest body of work, that match.
We'll do it now, and then if you guys talk about it for 40 minutes, then I can just back up and go on afterwards. I don't want to talk for 30 minutes.
And then have you go on for an hour.
Yeah. He did have other matches.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Right, the Gunther match. We'll talk about it. We'll see how much time we've got left afterwards, and then we can do the other stuff. Obviously, I wasn't there. You guys were at the show. You got to experience this. Was it like the first WWE 5-star match in however many years?
It's the first WWE 5-star match since June.
Yeah, because Seth and Cody had one at Hell in a Cell.
Oh, did they? Oh,
Yeah.
God. I've got to talk about
I
haven't watched WWE for about a year. So last pay-per-view I watched prior to Extreme Rules was Rumble. So I'm a bit out of the loop when it comes to WWE. So, okay, prior to this year, it's been a long time since they had a 5-star match on it.
Yeah, since Punk Cena for the main roster.
So I'm not going to call him Gunther. Walter versus Sheamus. Clash of the Champions.
I mean, I went into it expecting it to be what it was going to be, where they were just going to beat the shit out of each other. I went into that and I was looking forward to that. But then for what they actually put on then, the show, like the start of it, just where they stood staring at each other while Peter and that, Imperium and the Bruisers or whatever they're called, they're just beating the hell out of each other while they just stand and stare at each other. And I mean, even from that moment, the crowd knew they were going to be watching something special. You could tell they were losing their shit there and then.
There's like atmosphere in the venue when. I think ever since Sheamus came out, there was just an atmosphere in the stadium.
It was kind of like a hometown thing. Obviously, you had Drew in there as well, but I think for Sheamus originally had a bit more of a hometown thing because of, Ireland's a bit closer than Scotland is and stuff. So there's probably more Irish there than what there was Scots. So there was a big hometown feel to it, and obviously then when you've got Pete Dunne there as well, who's got a lot of history in Cardiff because he obviously had a lot to do with Attack Pro and stuff like that in Cardiff. So, there was a lot of a hometown feel there for it and everything. And obviously just everyone was excited there just to see what him and Walter could do and how far they, with boundaries that they've still got there, how far they could push each other and, and beat the hell out of each other. And, well, they didn't disappoint really, did they? Absolutely not. Because our hands down say it's the best match I've ever seen live in person. And I mean, we've seen some good ones years ago, Nick, at Dragon Force and stuff. But Jesus, this is hands down the best match I've ever seen live.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easy best match I've ever seen live. It's absolutely brilliant. Be dead in person for it.
I mean, I've watched it 3-4 times back now since then, just with commentary, because that was the only thing of not watching it with commentary when you're watching it live. So that was one of the first things I'd done when I got home, was watch it again.
That extra atmosphere can do for telling the story, because obviously the commentary does add an extra edge to it, doesn't it? When they're telling the story, they're highlighting certain moves and moments. So I've known we've been doing this episode for a few weeks, and I've put off. I still haven't watched the match. I've been deliberately sort of waiting. I've been waiting to listen to you two guys talk about it before I watch it, just to kind of get a feel for it and just let you two sell it. I am obviously going to watch it, but I just want to hear you two sell it to me, just to get that kind of angle on it. But yeah, so obviously I've got questions. Was it like a 50-50 split? Obviously, did Walter go in strong and Sheamus do the comeback? Or did Sheamus start off strong and it was like Walter on the comeback?
It was more sort of a back and forth, I thought, for a lot of the match.
50-50
kind of thing.
Yeah. It was literally just 20 minutes of beating the piss out of each other. That's the best way I can describe it. Sheamus' chest was horrible to look at. It was horrible to look at, his chest.
Top City then, yeah.
And
full on just like...
Oddly enough, the match sort of built around like something quite simple, of Sheamus hitting the beats on the chest. That's what the main match built around, when Sheamus finally getting that.
Yeah, I mean, that was it. It wasn't a match of spots or anything like that either. It was just literally two big bastards just beating each other and just seeing how far the human body could go. Like I say, I mean, there was the beat of the drum thing done. I think it got up to about, was it 16, 17, or maybe even more into the 20s or something like that, where he's doing that. But he'd done that a few times because he'd done it on the outside as well, to him about 10 times as well.
I think it was on the announce table, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
No, it was on the corner. It was on the corner guardrail sort of thing. He'd thrown Sheamus. I think Sheamus had been thrown over the guardrail and sort of grabbed him and pulled him back and started doing it.
I think that was fine when I was sitting.
Yeah. So then, obviously, you had all that, and as I say, I mean, you had that, and then they followed it up, obviously, the Extreme Rules as well with that triple, with the 6-man tag, which again was an absolute banger as well. You can see why now they're saying like sort of Sheamus is doing that, the banger after banger after banger, because it just seems as though he is producing them all the time now. And I felt really bad. I felt really bad for Liv Morgan on the last two pay-per-views because both times she's had to follow that when the crowd have been knackered, which is probably why she hasn't looked favourably on the last two pay-per-views. When going into SummerSlam, she was red hot because the last two pay-per-views she's had to follow Sheamus Walter in some way or another, and the crowd have just been knackered because I was exhausted by the end of that match. It did take a while for me to recover after that. It was like, it's true what they say when you watch a match like that, you are absolutely drained after that match yourself just from watching it because of how involved you get and invested in the match you get and stuff.
No, I totally understand.
You can tell if you watch back the show and you go to the Liv Morgan match afterwards, you can tell the crowd's back. It was mostly silent during that match. He popped for Liv. But other than that, it was quite quiet until towards the end of that match with Liv Morgan and Shayna. I felt so bad for them.
And then she had to do it again. Because Extreme Rules have done exactly the same again. Who are you there, Ronda?
Not again. Like, no, I'm not going after Sheamus. Told you off. That's not happening. But I've seen the Extreme Rules one. I mean, do we think obviously Trips is obviously, from not watching it at Mania to having started watching it again at Extreme Rules, for me, the difference Trips has made has been very obvious very quickly. And I think Sheamus might be reaping the benefits of that.
But I think he may be injured now.
Oh, shit, no. Because the also good mates, though. Like I said, he's having banger after banger at the minute.
Yeah. Because it's got to the point now.
To do what he wants to do.
It's got to the point now where, because War Games coming up at Survivor Series, you kind of thought, it's going to be the Bloodline against Drew and others and stuff. But now all of a sudden, this talk where they've done the thing where they jumped Sheamus and stuff, which I think I've heard it is because he's got a legitimate injury, which is why they've done the thing where they jump him. But so it could be them against, Sheamus's lot and stuff, or Imperium could be involved and Bloodline may not be involved in it at all. So it's gone
talk about Team Bray Wyatt, I think. Team Bray Wyatt's team against the Bloodline at War Games.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, if Sheamus comes back on time, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Reigns versus Sheamus at the Rumble.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, they need someone.
Get one more run. Do you think we'll give him? I think he's coming in for like a few years, isn't he?
He won't win, but I think he'll get that big main event match with Roman at the Rumble.
I think he might get one more run with it. I think that, especially if he keeps going as he is, why wouldn't you put the title on him? Somebody dependable. It depends on what's going to happen with Roman after Mania, I think. Is Roman going to go follow them all to Hollywood and try the acting and go part-time and stuff, or?
He's part-time, isn't it?
He can drop one belt, can't he? And he can still have like one belt for the Rock match kind of thing. So
they should have done that at Clash. They should have had a triple threat match for both titles, two out of three falls. I thought at Clash, and have Cross pin Drew or something like that, so he's not involved in the fall, doesn't lose any momentum, and then wins the next one, and then you split it, and then you've got one title on each show again.
Yeah, that makes sense. But for me, I personally wouldn't have an issue from what I've seen recently if obviously Sheamus did get the belt. Like I said, just as that final run, like you said, make somebody reliable. If you've got somebody of this caliber having these kind of matches, put the belt on him.
I think we're going to end up with. I think we're going to get Sheamus versus Pete Dunne at Mania.
Ooh. What about Holland? Is he going to play a factor? Is he going to be somebody similar?
I don't know. I still think he's a bit green.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But I don't know, because I think obviously we all know what Trips thinks of Pete Dunne and stuff. We know how much he loves him. So he's going to get a big push on his own at some point now with Triple H in charge. So I wouldn't be shocked if we got Pete Dunne versus Sheamus at Mania.
I would say that.
Which I'd be very happy with.
I'd take Dunne versus Walter again, the IC battle.
Oh, God, yeah. I remember that match from TakeOver.
That's it. You got but it all kind of comes through the Sheamus thing again. I think the whole Brutes thing works really well. I say Holland's still green, so he's kind of like the I don't know, the Batista of Evolution. Just the muscle. Let him do the basics, or the Reigns of the Shield when they first came in. Let him just do the basic stuff. And then you got Dunne, and you got Sheamus, who's You know, they're both awesome in the ring.
At some point with him, I think they've just got to go shit or bust with him, like what they've done with Batista and stuff. It's like, okay, fair enough. This is the plan for you. Either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. And you see it coming. It's always the meathead out of the group that they eventually get around to pushing. You know, the most kind of thing. So Orange's got that coming in his future. But I think for the next year or two, it will be Sheamus done, and then
it's the thing. You're either Batista or Mason Ryan.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh dear. Ooh. Oh dear.
Or Skip Sheffield.
I went with those two because they look exactly the same as each other.
So Sheamus then. So the Gunther match, absolute banging. I will get that watched, and then let's talk matches. Then we're predicting the future here. Let's go backwards and look. I'm going to presume, based on what you said, Mick, we'll get the Daniel Bryan. Sorry, I need to call it Bryan Danielson. I've just got used to calling it the other way around. Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus match.
I didn't take the 20 seconds to watch that. I told you. I don't watch proper matches. I didn't do Daniel Bryan for 20 seconds and Reigns for 15. I actually did it properly. I remember the Daniel Bryan match. He kissed her, got kicked in the face, and it was over.
That was just horrific. I remember watching that Mania and absolutely you could see what they were going for. You know, they wanted that just spot of the moment. Sheamus looks like an absolute boss. That came back to bite him in the arse so badly, though, because that was pretty much the launch of the Yes movement. And Sheamus just looked like a massive twat as a result.
But they did have an absolute banger the following month, 3 falls.
Yeah. They had a banger the year before on the Mania pre-show.
Yeah. Was that for the US title?
Yeah. And that's why they thought, right, we're going to have a really good match this year. Why the 18-second one stuck even more, because I think they both legitimately thought they were going to get a chance to showcase, do a repeat of the previous year, but actually on TV.
If you ask Sheamus, he can't have been happy with that booking for it. I don't think he could have been happy. I know he wouldn't become world champion and stuff, but there's no way when they had that meeting, right, this is the match. It's going to be, he's going to kiss AJ. It's going to turn around, you're going to bro kick him and win. Yeah. And you can imagine Sheamus just be like, "Oh, kidding me."
he's like, "Where's the time gone?" I was like, "Oh, Bridge Clay wants to have a dance at the end. We Blow Rider and Machine Gun Kelly at the end as well." So sorry, mate.
Yeah, better just allocate your time elsewhere. Right, well then, Mick, what's your first match?
First one I'll go with was Extreme Rules 2010 against Triple H. And it was the rematch, I think, from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
After Triple H had beat him at Mania. And then the following night, it was after Shawn had lost to The Undertaker and was retiring. And basically, Sheamus just beat the hell out of him with a pipe on Raw as he was saying goodbye to Shawn in the ring and everything. So they went into Extreme Rules then to have a street fight, which was going to be the opening match on the card. And as Triple H's music's on, it goes to the back. And he's jumped him again with a pipe. So obviously the delay, because Triple H can't go on first. So they delay it for a bit, and then Sheamus is in the ring, doing the whole heel thing. He's not coming out, he can't fight. Raise me hand, and then Triple H comes out with a towel and an ice pack on and stuff, like, oh, get off us and everything. And then they come out and have a street fight, which for, I don't know, it's about a 15-minute match, and I think for 12 minutes of it, it's not a street fight. It's just a standard wrestling match where Triple H is just dragging his arm because they're playing off that he's got all nerve damage and stuff. They keep going on about how it feels like when you fall asleep on your arm and everything. And Matt Striker's trying to say, imagine you fell asleep on your arm and you try to do things with your arm and stuff. And it's like, no, I think nerve damage is a bit more severe than falling asleep on your arm. So he's massively underselling it. And then Triple H just undersells it even more when they finally start using the weapons and stuff. Because he keeps forgetting that he's meant to only have one good arm and swinging kendo sticks with both arms and then remembering and hitting him with one arm and then forgetting again and swinging with two arms. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to hit him with a pedigree. Oh, shit, no, I've got a bad arm. I'll sell that again. And I think it was one of the first times where Sheamus started using the brogue kick as an actual finisher. Obviously, it took 4 of them in a row to stop Triple H, but, as you did. But no, it was an all right match.
It does.
it was an okay match. Like I say, Triple H at times was selling the bad arm really well. As I say, he did forget a number of times, like when he crotch chopped him after the second, done a crotch chop to him, after the second time where the ref's trying to stop the match, gives him the old suck it thing, and Sheamus hits him twice more with a brogue kick. But his arm was fine then.
It was adrenaline. Adrenaline was flowing.
Yeah. They kept talking about adrenaline as well, saying, "Oh yeah, you get 3 to 5 seconds where the adrenaline's pumping," and it's like, "Oh, is that what Triple H is getting every 5 seconds with his arm? It's 5 seconds of pain and then 5 seconds adrenaline." So no, but like I say, it was a decent match. I kind of could never get away with Matt Striker on commentary. I just really could never get away with him.
A few I watched today were around that period with Strike. I totally forgot about him on contract. I don't think I actually watched it back in the day when he did commentary. So I was listening to it. I was just like, yeah, no, I can't be on with that.
Well, during this match, he kept talking about pain during matches and trying to talk to Jerry Lawler, going, "Yeah, King, you know about this, like me. We've been in the." And I just kept thinking, "Nah, mate, you haven't been in some of the matches Lawler's been in and stuff. Yeah. You were an ECW enhancement guy and stuff, basically, who wrote on a blackboard. Whereas the King was a genuine fucking badass and stuff. Don't be trying to compare yourself to Jerry Lawler." So it was really bad.
Things like Matt Striker in Lucha Underground is really good. He's really good in Lucha Underground, Matt Striker, the damn hero.
It could have been the scripting. In all honesty,
yeah, as you say, we've always got to be careful when we sort of slag off commentators.
Yeah, except for I'll wait on the Big Show match that I've got later on for except for JBL thing, but never mind.
I think we got the same match here.
Don't tell me you've done the chairs match. Have you done the chairs match? I've done the chairs match. I've done the chairs match just because I remember one thing from it. And I was like, I gotta watch that just to get my memory back for it. So
the massive chair,
the big ass massive fucking chair. But no, as I said, the Triple H thing's good, and then Triple H is trying to be the whole hero, refusing medical attention to sort of be escorted out the ring, throws the collar off, being helped up the ramp and everything. So Sheamus hits him with another brogue kick at the top of the ramp. And then they finally do start trying to give him medical attention because Triple H has ripped the neck brace off and fucked the stretcher up. The stretcher's broken and they can't get the neck brace to fasten on him. So, so that was my first experience of the day.
Nice. It sounds like an enjoyable match, to be fair. Trips being trips back in the day. And Sheamus doing what Sheamus does, just kicking people.
As I say, he for most of it, Triple H took the brunt of the match, sort of on the receiving end. So he did make Sheamus look strong, but then, as I said, the finish sort of lessened it by 4 brogue kicks, and now obviously you look at the brogue kick now, and the 18-second thing it took 1, but this one it took 4.
Yeah, still not as bad as kicking out the Harlem Hangover after 40 seconds to get a pin. But yeah,
yes.
James, what we got?
We'll keep that for another episode.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one at the minute.
2 seconds, sorry.
I've got the Big Show match at Hell in a Cell 2012, and I remember it being an okay match. I watched it back earlier, and my God, it was really good.
Oh, really?
If I told you Sheamus and Big Show went 20 minutes in 2012, you would roll your eyes at me. But honestly, it was bloody brilliant to watch. Let's be fair, the first 10 minutes is Big Show just being Big Show, slow, being up. But the last 10 minutes, it just went into mental.
But round this period, Big Show was in better condition.
Was this when he's kind of leaned down a little bit? He got himself back into shape.
Yeah, I think he was down to about 440 or something like that. So he did look a bit leaner. Might have been the camouflage hiding it, but
yeah, he was really good. Like Sheamus pulled out a white noise. I think it's the first time Big Show's KO punch got kicked out of. But Sheamus went for the bloke, Big Show caught him and whacked him.
Yes, really good I saw that on the highlight earlier. Yeah, that looked pretty cool actually. I'm impressed by that.
The crowd thought out of it, so it was he done something right. The crowd was felt bad for Big Show though. Sheamus came out, got a bit of a pop. at all. Like, oh, poor Big Show. But then, like, as the match went on, the crowd got more and more into it. Started getting into Big Show, got more into Sheamus. And I think that might be a bit dead because Sheamus' reign not being that good. Obviously, he had the match with Daniel Bryan Extreme Rules. Then that had about 100,000 matches of Alberto Del Rio, I believe, during that time. Then the Big Show match came along. Completely what's the word?
Reinvigorated him.
He started his title. Yeah, there we go. Reinvigorated when he lost it. But yeah, like the finish was brilliant as well. So Sheamus hit a blow kick. Big Show kicked out. Another good pop. Then Sheamus went for another blow kick, and as he went for the blow kick, Big Show clocked him and with the right hand and won. I really enjoyed it. The 20 minutes flew by. Never thought I'd say that about Big Show and Sheamus match, but it flew by.
But like you said, if they paced it right, like say first 10 minutes, nice and slow, nice and steady, just kind of building. Last 10 minutes just sounds like an absolute clusterfuck of just like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And you say
big people doing big people things.
Yeah, but he got Big Show up for a white noise. That's an impressive mental image.
I think that's what got the crowd going, really.
I mean, that in itself is.
Crowd over.
I think you always kind of forget just how strong Sheamus is. You don't tend to sort of think about the dude is like just solid. You can imagine him like just being very, very, very strong, which obviously he must have been to do that to show.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bloody good match. A really good match, and an otherwise probably crap show. If I remember it correctly.
Right, so just watch that match on that show.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop in here and sort of say League of Nations, I think they were called. Can you remember the faction? One of the most forgotten about factions, I would say, which on paper
should have been amazing.
Should have been awesome. I mean, I hate Del Rio. I think the guy's a massive cunt.
Me not wrong there.
Can I just point out this is the first time I've ever been on here and not dropped the first C-bomb?
It was never really talked about Del Rio first while it was going to say it. I think it was going to be more of a prompt. Obviously you had Rusev, as he was called, Ray Barrett, Sheamus. Just those three would have been an amazing sort of unit. And then, I don't know how long that lasted. I was doing a lot of research. I kind of dropped in and out watching because.
Didn't it fizzle out because Wade got injured?
Yeah.
Well, they turned on him. They cast him as the weak link. I don't know if it's because he got injured. Probably was actually. Thinking about it. They turned on him and clocked him and just did him over. But I think that was pretty much the writing on the door for Del Rio, Barrett, and I think Sheamus is the only one that's come out of it sort of unscathed, wasn't he?
Rusev won the US title a couple months after.
Oh, did he? Okay, cool. Okay. So, just Barrett and, country bollocks.
But I think Barrett got released just afterwards as well. I think that's when Barrett got released.
That's still a shame, is that? I still think he could have done something with him. His feud with Orton, I remember, I literally thought he was going to take the next step.
Always Barrett, me.
The Sheamus was always one of those guys that obviously you had that faction, and then they kind of used him to get when the Shield was just kind of getting momentum. I think you had like Orton, Show, and Sheamus teaming up a few times to take on the Shield.
I think that was at WrestleMania.
Yes,
I think the Shield's first Mania was I thought that was the New Age Outlaws and Kane. Wasn't that their first Mania?
No, that was.
Was that the second? Oh, was that the second one? Was it?
Yeah, the second one. Yeah, I think they did face off like Big Show, Orton, and Sheamus.
Was that the one where Big Show refused to tag in?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Well, thinking is that Sheamus seems to be the guy that's, like you sort of said, right, the whole reason that we're starting to appreciate him is that we're looking back now and we're kind of understanding that he's Mr. Consistent, he's Mr. Reliable. You can put him in with things, and if it's going to work, it's probably down to his work ethic, him just dragging it along and making it work.
I think it's that upper mid card litmus test, isn't he, to see if you can go from the mid card to the main event.
He should be, if he's not, but especially now, he should be like the gatekeeper. That guy that you get past.
lately he's hit like Riddle and Damian Priest as well over the US title. I think he had a great match of Riddle at WrestleMania, not last year, the year before.
Personally, for me, I think he's in a similar position to what Taker was in for a while on SmackDown when you were putting him in with like of MVP and Kennedy and stuff like that to see if they could. I think Sheamus is now in a similar position to that where they'll think, okay, what should we see if he can cut it and see what reaction we're getting, stuff, what kind of match they can have with Sheamus, because obviously they must think highly of Sheamus because they keep putting him in these things and they keep putting him in these feuds from like sort of you think, oh God, not Sheamus again, but then like you say, it's a banger most of the time.
Well, I mean, like you say, but he's been in and out of that role, because when I was like looking through like the history of like his matches and stuff, like, you know, he was having feuds with like Kofi at times, a lot of guys like that, not just underneath the upper card or the main event. He has feuded with a lot of those guys before they went on to.
But you know, I mean, one of the matches I've watched actually just shows that he's been doing that since 2010. Because one of the matches that I watched was a ladder match when he was King Sheamus against Morrison for the #1 contenders thing.
Great match. Great match.
Yeah. So he's been doing it for years. So and even if you think 2010 was only his second year, and he's having those kind of matches already to see if people can step up. So obviously they've thought a lot of him basically all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean we kind of know that because of how quickly they put the world title on him. But he did seem to drop down into that role as well. He seems to have been like ups and downs all the way through his time there. Like he started off at such a high, came back down, then went back up again.
But he's never had that moment where he's went through a bit of time where he's been getting squashed by everyone and stuff, which some people do have and everything like that. Usually it's a punishment thing and stuff. He's never had that. He's never had that where he's never dropped out of that. You know, if he's not been in the main event picture, he's always been around the secondary title picture.
Yeah.
Or the tag champion, or the tag one where they didn't know what to do with him because.
Out of curiosity, have any of you guys watched any of the Sheamus Cesaro, the best of 5? They did a best of 5, didn't they?
The best of 7.
I watched the last match. I did watch the last match of the best of 7. Clash of Champions.
I was going to watch it, but then I just thought if I watch that, I'm probably going to have to go back and watch the other 6 so I can talk about them. and I haven't got that long on the train.
Just imagine like OCD kicking in and be like, it's like when you watch a film, you can't watch the sequels before you watch the original film. Yeah. Like that. I'm watching the best of 7. I've got to watch all of them.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
I just watched the 7th match.
You're a rebel. You don't care, James.
Yeah. Like, you youngins.
Caution to the wind. Fuck it. Let's do it. Right. We'll talk about that one in a second. Mick, what have you got?
We're going to go back to Big Show.
Ooh, there's a big show.
Yeah, TLC 2012. And yeah, it was the chairs match. And yes, I watched it purely because I remembered the finish and loving the big chair. And as I said, they'd had the Hell in the Cell match. Because he lost the title to Big Show, didn't he?
Yeah.
He dropped it a bit. He dropped the title to Big Show, and then they had the feud where they had a few matches and stuff, and Show kept winning. And then, like I say, you had this chairs match, and it's just too big, too vast. Again, it's another one though, which is very easy to watch. 20 minutes. It's about a 20-minute one again, and it went through a similar formula where it was a bit slow to start with and stuff, and then they just start throwing out the heavy hitting and stuff where the chairs start coming out. I think Survivor Series before that, the reason they had the chairs is because I think Sheamus hit him 31 times, I think they mentioned on commentary, with a steel chair during a match. So that's why they had the chair match the following month. But you were saying about the white noise. They do in this one, there's the white noise spot again, but this time they do it through 2 chairs. Which is a really, really good spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously on commentary you've got on this one, you've got, I think, Striker wasn't, but you had JBL, which, when you've got JBL.
JBL, JR. There was JBL, Michael Cole, and
I can't remember. But as I said, JBL's comments during this are, the JBLisms are just ridiculous, where for some reason he always seems to like to drop in his rugby references. I don't know why. Like, because I know he's got the rugby thing, academy thing that he's part of in Bermuda where he lives and stuff. But so like when during the match and stuff, Sheamus is getting beaten on. And he's like, oh, it looks like it's going to continue to be a bad weekend for Ireland because Ulster and Leinster, or Munster and Leinster lost at the weekend and stuff. And it's like, nobody's going to know what the hell you're on about. Unless they're watching him. But apart from the people in Dublin.
Yeah, he's like, the Irish are loving him at the minute, and that's about it. But it's like, I just JBL's another one of those guys that just winds me up the wrong way. If he's
he kept referring to an abacus as an abacus. And then there goes, what is that? Obviously, nobody was saying it wrong. And I think it was Michael Cole just chirped in and goes, it means an old school calculator. But he kept calling it an abacus, and it was like, what are you on about? And then obviously, like I say, you've got the big chair spot after you've had the missed brogue kick, and he kicked out of the knockout punch where Sheamus's leg had got caught on the top rope after missing that. And it didn't look a good knockout punch when you watch it first, but then when they showed the replays, I think that was one of the things with Show's punch, is when you in real time it didn't look that good, but then on the replays they seem to make it look a lot better. Not even in slow motion, just like you say, a better angle, and it just looked a lot better, and it did on this one as well.
What's the story with this big chair? Was it just obviously like the Big Show's personalised chair or something?
Well, it was along the lines of, remember, he had the big ladder, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
During was it TLC? Was it one of the TLC matches?
Money in the Bank,
and he had the big ladder. So sorry, we'll bring out a big chair. And and it's just
it's
like
so cartoonish.
I know, it was ridiculous. What was even better was the more going, what's he got? It's like, it's a big ass chair. You can clearly see it's a massive steel chair. He's carrying it right in front of them and stuff, and it looks exactly the same as the other steel chairs, except it's just much bigger. And they go, what's he got? A big fucking chair.
I want to see a big table. I think we should do a big TLC match.
Well, they build them, the Dudleys, though, don't they? Where you got 4 of them. They just build the big tables.
Yeah, it's very true.
But
it's just that.
But
one table.
I mean, in fairness, the big chair, the actual shot to the back, the noise it makes is impressive, and it's only one shot to the back as well to end the match. But the noise and the impact of it because of how big this chair actually, and then Show's just walking out carrying, and they just keep going, what's it weigh? It's probably about 3 times the weight of a normal folding chair.
Grab a normal chair. Grab up 3 chairs, and that's about your weight.
Basically, that was it. But no, again, like you said, it's weird thing, but I think that was some of Show's best work, because when he was having that feud with Sheamus and the Mark Henry stuff around the same time, those 3 for some reason seem to always be able to put on good matches with each other in that time.
But you won't guess it, would you? Like, again, I don't know whether it's the Sheamus factor, but I say Show and Henry put on some decent matches. Again, whether it's because they're such good mates, they just trust each other to go out and make each other look good. But it's a weird one, because like I say, I would never have thought to watch any Big Show matches intentionally.
No.
You've given me 2 matches now.
But as I say, the only reason I picked that one is because I just remembered as soon as it came up on the sort of the list of things, I was like, Big J. I'm watching that again. And it was actually really good.
But you two made me want to go watch 2 Big Show matches.
Get in.
It is not really, mate. I think the reason people talk about it is the big check. It is on like a card where the Shield's debut. That's the same show I've seen in the main event. And also, the Barnes-Double match, we have Alberto Del Rio, The Miz, and the Brooklyn Brawler versus the 3MB.
Oh my God.
Go out, watch that one.
Did you go back and watch the whole show?
I did watch. I've got a card in front of me. I was thinking, was it the same show as the Shield's debut? Yeah, I
think was it the one where Rollins went off the ladder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, where Rollins had his first big spot and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I never knew that match was in existence. 3-man man versus Brooklyn Brawler.
I want to watch that.
It's only 3 minutes long, but
damn you, James.
I didn't think it was going to get any worse than making me want to watch 2 Big Show matches, but now, I actually want to go out and watch a Brooklyn Brawler match.
I can't believe I want to watch it. I would have watched it anyway because of the Miz, because, nice one, Ryan.
love you, Ryan.
Gotta give the big man a shout out when it comes to the Miz.
Of course, number 1 fan. So, right, James, you mentioned that you watched the last of the Best of 7 series with Cesaro, or Claudio Castagnoli, as modern day fans will know him.
Yep. It's what you expect out of a Sheamus and Cesaro match. It's just them two just beating the piss out of each other. And
did he still have a first name then?
No, Cesaro did not have his first name. It's very just like his little James Bond gimmick. He came out with the whole.
So this was just before the bar. Then it was after this where they put the bar together, wasn't it?
It was a mutual respect thing.
This is the match they got the bar.
But then they incorporated the Bond thing into the bar entrance, didn't it? To start with.
Yeah, I think because the stipulation was whoever won the Best of 7 series gets the title match. Fortunately, the match didn't end like double stoppage because they've beaten the piss out of each other outside, and the ref's like, "No, this is it, guys." And it's kept to fight each other afterwards. But I think Mick Foley, who was GM at the time, went like, "I know it finishes a draw, but you two get a tag title match." I think that's what pretty much happened. But yeah, I watched this back match casually. Then out of nowhere, I remember the spot where Cesaro just dives out of the ring and lands straight on his head. I was like, "Oh my god!" He went down like that, head first. He went to normal suicide dive. He spiked himself on the way down. That's horrible.
Yes.
But yeah, just Cesaro being strong, good selling by Cesaro as you would expect. Yes, uppercuts, knees. What you expect out of Cesaro and Sheamus.
Was the Best of 7 where they had the beach ball?
No, that was.
Oh, was that during the? Was that when they were the bar?
I think that was the bar
when Cesaro jumped in the crowd and ripped up the beach ball.
Yeah. Yeah, it was against Seth and Dean, I think, that match.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I knew Sheamus was involved somehow in the match. I couldn't remember when it was or whether it was that far back.
Things like at the time, I remember getting annoyed at the double referee stuff. It was good. It was such a good match, and it's a crappy finish, but it did give birth to one of the best tag teams in the modern era in the bar. At the end of the day, so you can't come what frustrating. So I could go back at it. I was a bit like when the match got. I was like, I'm enjoying this, but now I can respect the finish and what it created as it's one of the best tag teams in the modern era.
That was it.
It's one of those ones. In hindsight, you can look back and be like, "Okay, I get it now." But at the time, legitimately being pissed that you just watched 7 matches and it's.
I don't think it was meant to get over as much as it did.
No.
It certainly wasn't meant to last that long. I think it was just meant to be a stopgap for the two of them. And because I was going to go back and watch the Hardys return at Mania, but I just thought that was all because as good a match that was, and obviously the Ball were in it. It's all about the Hardys. Yeah. We'll just talk about that pop basically, wouldn't it? So that's why I didn't do that. Yeah.
But yeah, the Bar. Just again, I think you get 2 guys every now and again. You'll get 2 guys that you put together in a makeshift team, and it just works. Yeah, and like I said, the Bar was just one of those teams, but it's never a team that people talk about. Like you just sort of said, a great tag team, potentially probably one of the best tag teams in the last decade for the time period that was around.
Well, I think they had an 18-month period, didn't they, where it was the Bar, the Usos, and New Day. And that was the tag team division, basically. And then there was a couple of lower ones.
You had the Bludgeon Brothers as well, didn't you? I remember some bangers between the Bludgeons and the Bar. Or was that me just fancy booking?
I remember the Bludgeons winning. I remember, I think with New Day, and I think they had one with the Usos as well, Bludgeon Brothers. But I can't remember many with them. But I know they were in the ladder match as well, weren't they, Mania? Is that right, the Bludgeon Brothers? I'm sure they were in that.
No, I think it was. I don't know. I think it might have been. I think it was.
Usos, the Bar.
No,
and I think
the Bar, Enzo and Cass, Hardys and the club.
Was it?
The OC.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go. It's best made. I'm Googling right now.
Nice having that guy in the chair, actually, on screen at the right time.
Yeah. It's like we're on little Richard Osman sort of thing on Pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
the OC,
yes,
the bar, the
yes.
Hardys, and then Zone Cat.
Yes, I was correct. Yes. Sorry, he was that smug on the Sunday night as well on the piss. So.
Wrong with it. It was right. It was right.
Hey, to be fair, we joint won that quiz.
We did.
joint first in that quiz.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, but we went to see All Out at bar in Cardiff, and there was a quiz, and our team came joint first.
Nice. Was Mick just the mascot, or was you actually being helpful, Mick?
No, I think I actually answered quite a few, to be fair.
Yay!
Thank you.
Not just a pretty face.
No.
No, just...
There's a lot of Jaeger bombs that night as well.
Yes. That was the sponsor.
A lot of Jaeger, a lot of scissoring.
And the scissor.
A lot of Jaegers, a lot of scissoring.
Yeah.
Right. I am going to... obviously, I've been dropping in like random moments and stuff. When I was doing the bios, I actually didn't realise I actually started to learn to wrestle in New Jersey, not in Ireland. His first ever wrestling camp was in New Jersey. Then he ended up getting injured and being shipped off back to Ireland for a few years before picking it back up again. And that's when he went to IWW, Irish wrestling.
With Drew, wasn't it, as well? He done a lot of stuff with Drew. Yeah. Yeah,
those two guys basically carried the scene for a couple of years, which is obviously what led to the matches last year. Because I remember, I think that's when it clicked for me. The awesomeness of Sheamus was the feud with Drew. I kind of sort of saw those two having matches and being like actually enjoying it. You know, I was looking forward to actually seeing them.
I think that's where Sheamus's in-ring work started to get really credited, was that feud with Drew.
Yeah.
It also gave Drew a lot more legitimacy as well as champion, I thought.
Yes.
That feud with Sheamus made him look so legitimate as a champion.
Definitely.
Because the Orton feud was just like, it's Orton in it, let's chuck him in there. But then they had that feud with Sheamus and it just become like, shit, it's a proper legitimate reign and stuff.
Yeah, it felt like legitimate fights. That's why kind of both guys, because everybody knows how badass Sheamus is, kind of thing. Obviously, proving it now. But yeah, like they just made Drew look, instead of being a sword wielding idiot, actually made him look like a legitimate fighter.
Yeah, I think Sheamus has won everything but the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I was going to say that. He's won the Rumble.
One Rumble, Money in the Bank,
United States.
Yeah, everything but the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Which I do hope he gets.
I tell you what,
title. He needs the IC title as for like his final run.
Yeah. No, they keep doing the drop downs and stuff. I'd really like to see a Braun Breaker Sheamus match.
Ooh.
For the NXT title.
Yeah.
No.
Or Dragunov. Yeah, Dragunov.
Oh, fucking hell, Jesus.
It could end up back in NXT Europe. To give that as a household name.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's going to launch, isn't it? So it's like, and I don't think he would mind. That's the thing about Sheamus. I legitimately don't think he would mind. I think he'd be quite happy to, work with those guys, and get them over.
So I think they've only retained about 14 people from that.
Also, I do think they went like, look, if you don't want to move to US, we'll let you go. And once NXT Europe comes up, we'll give you a call if you're interested.
Yeah.
So it's more like, we're not releasing you because we don't want you. It's more, you don't move to the US.
Yeah.
And if you may as go make your work on the British Indies for a year or so, then we'll call you back when NXT Europe's ready.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I remember people getting pissed off when all them UK releases come. I was like, it's probably that
Give it time.
Triple H and Sean Boyd sat all of them down. They're like, look, you don't want the contract to move to the US, we'll let you go and you can go wrestle on the independents for a while. And when next you're ready, we'll come.
But I think
if you want to, you're more than welcome. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good shout. When Sheamus's in-ring work is done, do we think could we see him as like the next Regal, like as a GM that kind of a role for NXT Europe possibly?
I think he could be a fantastic Harley Race type manager, like Race was with Vader and stuff like that. Where it's like, so if you went out the outside and you'd feel being hit by the manager as opposed to a little one. Where when Vader was fighting and Harley Race would twat them, you know they were feeling that as well.
Yeah.
So some sort of role like that for Sheamus, I think would be a really good role for him.
Keep him with Holland. Have him be that role for Holland. Then whenever they want to split Pete Dunne often be the face or the heel, but keep Sheamus and Holland together. I think that would work for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm assuming Holland's a good mate of his from like sort of with the rugby and stuff like that. I don't know, because that's the only reason I can see that he's part of it, because he kind of come from nowhere, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
He's British and he kind of thing. They also kind of wanted to do that sort of Aussie Dunne, like say Holland. I think they kind of put Dunne and I'm trying to think what Holland was doing in NXT before he got called up, because he was with somebody in NXT as muscle for somebody, wasn't he, Holland? Probably he was partnered up with somebody in NXT. I'm sure he was.
Was it? He's supposed to be with Pat McAfee's group. I think he's supposed to be part of Pat McAfee's group.
Yes, he was with Pete Dunne in NXT.
But he got injured.
Yeah, he was with Pete Dunne in NXT.
He was supposed to be in that group, but he got injured. He's supposed to be in that group, but he got injured.
That's it. That's the bad. Yeah, thank you. It's going to bug me otherwise. So, right. Key moments, takeaway moments. If we are using this episode to sell people on Sheamus, what's the closing argument? What are we saying to people? Obviously, watch the Gunther match.
I was about to say.
And pretty much, if you're not sold up after that match, fuck you.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, yeah.
I've got a funny feeling for some reason I don't think you're going to like it as much as us, Nick, and I'm going to have to say fuck you to you as well. I don't know why. I've just got a funny feeling that you're going to be that person.
It's been months of everyone big.
Yeah.
It's been months
like I'm sick of watching it again. It's God.
No, I can pretty much know that I'm going to watch it and I am going to enjoy it. I do like those kind of matches. Like I say, just two people beating the shit out of each other. It's thoroughly entertaining, and I don't think I'm a massive Walter fan. I do think they need to be careful with him because he works so well in NXT UK because he was like a matinee act. You only saw him like 4 times a year or something, so it was always felt like a big deal when you saw him. You see him on a regular basis now.
Oh, they're doing really well.
I'm intrigued for Crown Jewel to see how much he actually caves in Ray's chest. It's like Ray lost an eye at Extreme Rules. Apparently, I think he's going to actually lose his entire rib cage at Crown Jewel.
Him and Jericho will have like a competition to see whose chest is the most split afterwards.
most concave. It's like whose chest is destroyed more, Jericho's because of Benoit or Ray's because of Walter.
So, gentlemen, it has been an honour. I am going to wrap it up.
I think Jericho's got is a Benoit. Yeah.
What's that?
I was about to say, the difference between Jericho and Benoit and Walter and Rey Mysterio, one's from one match, the other's from a series of matches. So that's how much.
But I think when you look at like Benoit's hand probably and Walter's hand, massive difference. But yeah, I've always been, like I said, since the Drew feud, I think Sheamus is a very underappreciated. I think he's starting to be more appreciated now, and I do want to go back and watch more matches.
I'm gonna go back and watch more. I think from the couple that I watched, I think there is going to be other ones that I maybe's not thought that much of them because like as I say, it's only in the last year or so that I've actually started to appreciate how good a hand he is in the ring. Like I say, since the Drew feud, really.
I will say on YouTube, there's a Big E versus Sheamus match. I haven't watched it yet, but it caught me interest. I've kind of marked it for a watch later because I just think that could be very hard hitting, very enjoyable match as well. Just
there was a Wade Barrett versus Sheamus one from Main Event on there as well, which I'm going to go back and watch because I thought that one has a lot of potential on there.
So,
even for a Main Event match.
His TLC match with Roman Reigns being quite good.
Yes.
Yeah, that run when he was kind of like the cowardly heel with Roman Reigns after he beat him in the 15 seconds and stuff, and then they had a couple of matches after that, wasn't it, where Reigns couldn't quite beat him and stuff, and he was like the absolute cowardly heel type thing, but keeping the title by the skin of his teeth. So he showed he could do that role as well as obviously all the other roles. Because didn't he have the 15 seconds T-shirt or something like in the style of Austin? I'm sure there was like
Sheamus not 15.
5:15, I'd kick your ass.
It was something along those lines. I'm sure it was in an Austin style. I'm sure it was in an Austin style where they had it like sort of with the minute and the clock sort of thing, like what 3:16 looked like. And I'm sure it was like Sheamus with that on and everything.
I don't think it was the time of the match. I think it was Roman Reigns'
title reign.
That makes sense. From where he won the belt.
It was how long he held the title or something, maybe.
Yeah, if it's 5:15, something like that.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, it was along those.
That's your homework, guys. 5 minutes T-shirt, send me it. I'm interested. It sounds awesome. So, do you want to plug your socials? Do you want to encourage people to interact with you, or are you just not bothered?
Come on, Hardcam. with your purple light there.
I've changed my name actually. My name has been changed.
Nope.
Hey. Today, but it's done.
Staying strong. I don't think enough people heard of what it was anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's fine.
The things that used to come up when you search for James on Twitter. When you start off with Hard C. It was him, Hardcore Holly, and then a lot of porn. I can't believe you've caved and you've changed it.
Obviously, Mick's on there.
Mr. Mick Ego.
The Badger. And obviously, look us up, WTLS 316. No, it's 420 on Twitter. WTLS 420. Say hi, join us on Facebook. Obviously, if there's any more suggestions for future Spotlight episodes.
Start petitioning Ryan as well for a Miz episode, everybody, please. Because I know Ryan is desperate to be part of that one. Yeah. 100% Ryan's desperate for a Miz episode.
And if there's ever a Miz one, he has to be on it.
He has to be.
He has to.
I had to do the Punk one with a Miz.
I agree. I think it's not always about liking the guy. It's not an appreciation episode. It just be a Spotlight episode. You don't like the guy, get on it. Slag him off for 30 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah. It basically will be an hour and a half of me and Ryan arguing. That's all it'll be.
That's fine. I'll just
Well, not even talk matches. It'll just be us two arguing about my love of the Miz and his hatred of the Miz, and James can chuck in a match.
Yeah.
I like this match.
You'll sit there and be looking at the facts. Oh, yeah, that was the one. There we go. I'll just sit here and eat my popcorn. Sword. So, any future Spotlight episodes, let us know. If we get enough call for it, we will do a Miz one. But James, Mick, thank you so much.
No problem.
It has been highly enjoyable. I've missed you two guys on here, so hopefully.
Oh, bless you. Missed you too, babe.
Good. Thank you. It's good to be back.